Let's assume that I can maximize my profits with fewer employees. Let's assume I've got a company and I realize that if I fire some of my workers and reorganize the functions of my existing workers, that I actually can have a greater profit. Obama is saying, well, that's a bad thing because trying to maximize your profit meant that somebody lost their jobs. Well, that's not how you want to look at it from a society's perspective. Yes, from the guy who lost his job, from his point of view, it's a bad thing, right? Because now he's out of work and he has to find another job, right? But if you look at the big picture, which is what Obama is trying to do, right? The big picture is that person's labor has now been freed up. He doesn't need to work at this company because the company is actually more profitable without him. And so all the consumer goods are still being produced more efficiently without that guy that got laid off, which means society is better off because now he can do something else. He can go get another job and help produce something else that maybe doesn't exist yet. And so now society has the old goods and the new goods, right? So the whole idea is so labor can be as productive as possible. And you don't just keep people at jobs if we can produce the same stuff or more stuff without their labor, because now we can get the benefit of something else. And that is how society works. And, you can call it creative destruction. We destroy some jobs so that other jobs can be created. Because if you don't fire those people, then the labor isn't available to do something else. If people are unnecessarily working, then society loses. So the fact that Obama doesn't understand this, is pretty scary. But maybe he does. Maybe he's just trying to be good politics, because rather than explaining how economics works, he just wants to focus on the people who lost their jobs and have them tell their sob story on a commercial that, I had this job and then Mitt Romney fired me. If nobody fired people, if people didn't fire workers, there probably would be no jobs because a lot of the companies would go bankrupt. In fact, in many cases, the way a company stays in business, because it's a competitive market, sometimes firing 10% of your workforce preserves the jobs of the other 90%. What if a businessman didn't fire those 10%, kept all of his employees, and as a result was uncompetitive and went out of business, and now 100 people lose their job? You can't say you got to put people before profits. That people say it all the time. But no, the way you make a profit is by putting people first, because the people that you're talking about are your customers, right? It's not about your employees. Your employees are only there to serve your customers. But remember, everybody's employee is also somebody else's customer. I mean, we all wear multiple hats in the economy. Yes, somebody might be an employee of one company, but he's also a customer of a lot of other companies. And, people might say, well, low wages are bad for workers. Well, no, they're not, because workers also have to buy things. And low wages means that the things that they buy are cheaper. Right? So you always have to look at it from a broader perspective. And Obama's not doing that.